Only a few survivors remain in the near future after a catastrophic event that affected all of Europe. There is a mystery force at work that has the power to convince individuals to commit suicide, and it is sweeping the globe. Sebastian and his daughter Anna are hiding out and having some fun together in a skating rink in Barcelona. However, they abruptly hear a disturbance and start to flee. Sebastian gets struck by many blind individuals as they make a sharp turn in a hallway, and he tumbles to the ground. The gang grabs Sebastian's bag of provisions and departs after striking him a few times. Anna advises Sebastian against using a broken bottle that he finds on the ground to protect himself. When the group emerges from the building after covering their eyes, they see that the streets are as usual demolished and crowded with dead people. After some further exploring, they stumble upon a group of other survivors. Sebastian orders Anna to conceal before requesting permission to join the group. Sebastian claims to have been a building engineer and claims to know where to find generators that can offer light and interior warmth since the gang is concerned for his safety. This convinces Sebastian to join the group. Sebastian is taken to a bus station where the group is hiding out with other survivors. There, they meet Liliana, a doctor who attends to Sebastian's wounds. Later, during dinner, he encounters a man who had his own eyes sewn for safety and for his own sanity. He tells him about the terrible things he has witnessed people do while under the influence of the monster. Despite the fact that most people are terrified of the monster, this individual explains that certain people are immune to its effects and have the ability to freely roam the city without the need of blindfolds. These people are referred to as seers. But those who aren't resistant to it end up being hunted down and slaughtered by those seers. When everyone in the bus nods out after supper, Sebastian recognizes an opening. He creeps around and takes all the office keys, which he then begins to use on the bus. Sebastian locks the driver's door and claims that he is doing this to liberate them all when Liliana tries to stop him after being awakened by the commotion. When he finally locates the correct keys, he starts awkwardly driving the bus around the station, arousing the passengers. To get Sebastian to stop, the other survivors break the door open and start fighting him. However, this just makes Sebastian's driving worse, and he ultimately smashes through the front door, making it outside only to crash again and overturn the bus. Sebastian announces the arrival of the entity and describes it as magnificent as soon as he gets out of the bus. Sebastian notices how light departs the body of the first man when he is startled and ends things for himself when he sees the creature. When Liliana and the others first emerge, Sebastian urges them to open their eyes so they may see the object of their attention. Every single survivor, with the exception of Sebastian, then goes on to finish things for themselves using various brutal techniques. Sebastian observes as bright lights leave their bodies and soar to heaven. Suddenly, Anna reappears, holding her father's hand and assuring him that everything would be well since he has saved them. A sudden recollection occurs to Barcelona's first defeat by this unidentified attacker 9 months prior. When Sebastian received the notice, his co-workers were already abruptly stopping their workdays for themselves. Sebastian was in the middle of his workday at the time. Sebastian received a call from his wife asking him to pick up Anna from school. He immediately hurried to the streets where he saw people running frantically for their lives amid complete mayhem. Sebastian saw several injured individuals as he hurried to the train stop, and at that very moment, things started drifting all around him. Sebastian fled after seeing something was amiss as others were harmed by the entity's power. Then Sebastian went back outside, where a building went off. He eventually arrived at the school, where he discovered a dead nun lying on a desk and all of the girls retrieving in terror. Together, Sebastian and Anna fled after Sebastian discovered her, but as they neared the door, an explosion and flames from outside occurred. Instead of using the school chapel to exit, the pair ran into Esteban, the pastor of the school. According to this pastor, the object was an angel, and no one could look at it due to its supernatural presence. Esteban proposed that mankind should be liberated from the constraints of existence itself in order to stop additional misery. Sebastian was deeply impacted by this idea. Sebastian then hurried to their apartment building while covering Anna with his jacket, only to observe Anna's mother being struck by a car while crossing the street. Back in the present, Sebastian and Anna stop by the church for a brief prayer, and Sebastian notices a painting move, revealing he is a seer who is so deluded that he sees things and believes murdering people via the entity means he is rescuing their souls. This confirms that he is a seer. After observing the bright lights depart the pair's bodies, Sebastian explains to them that the entity is a group of lovely angels as they come across individuals taking their own lives once more. Later, Sebastian notices a woman walking into a business. When he tries to attack her covertly, some dogs unexpectedly attack Sebastian, exposing a large group of survivors commanded by the dog's owner Rafa. Octavio, Roberto and Isabel, Claire, and Sofia, a little German girl who strongly resembles Anna, make up the group. Rafa first objects when Sebastian requests to join the group, but Sebastian quickly wins them over by telling the generator tale once more. The group promptly departs as the things around start to float as the creature approaches. They eventually reach the ancient anti-war refuge where they are sheltering. Anna keeps popping up in the background, suggesting Sebastian he should use her to get everyone to come out as Sebastian claims to be alone. Sofia intervenes to break up the conflict as Sebastian suddenly reveals he lied about the generator because she doesn't want any more people to get injured. Sebastian is able to converse with her in German and learns that she was separated from her mother while traveling to Barcelona and that she had to see several fatalities when the crisis initially began. Sofia also remembers hearing about a mountain castle that is said to be the most secure location from the entity. She even draws an image of the castle and the cable vehicle that connects to it. Isabel determines from the drawing that Sofia is making a reference to Montjuic. The party decides to go there after debating the advantages and drawbacks in the hopes that they would find food and protection behind the castle's walls. Sebastian had a really strange nightmare the night before they go regarding everything he has been through. They set out for Montjuic in the morning, barely pausing briefly to pick up a map. Once outdoors once again, a flashback occurs in which Sebastian, 8 months prior, used the voice of his GPS to direct him to the hospital where he requested a doctor for Anna who was experiencing a fever. Sebastian was forced to return to the flat without a solution as everything started drifting out of control. When the gang stops to rest for the night in the present, Sebastian can still see Anna pursuing them. When everyone is asleep, Sebastian takes advantage of the opportunity to tamper with the dog's leash. The group is suddenly engulfed by the entity, which utilizes the voices of people's departed loved ones, the following morning while walking through the streets. The leash snaps, the dogs bolt, and everyone becomes disoriented. Octavio intervenes barely in time to stop Sofia when she hears her mother instructing her to hide her eyes. When Rafa hears his dog screaming out in distress while he is looking for them, he takes off his blindfold only to see the thing and pass away instantly. Roberto and the dogs visit him to see how he is doing, but the dogs bite Roberto. As soon as Octavio locates a home they can utilize, he whistles for everyone to follow him inside. The creature, according to Octavio's idea, is a quantum being that resides within a fluctuating compound and is capable of reading human emotions, particularly fear and sadness. This notion is shared while Isabel tends to Roberto's wound. Sebastian begins to have second thoughts as a result, but when he notices Sofia won't stop sobbing, he gives her Anna's jewelry. Another flashback begins as a result of this. Sebastian tried his best to keep Anna away from the sound of death by keeping her in the flat with music as Esteban and his supporters forced individuals to open their eyes in order to liberate them. Sebastian continues spotting Anna in the present, which proves she is an apparition and not real. While Anna's ghost continues to speak to Sebastian, Claire makes an effort to connect with him by warning him that the entity exploits their loved ones to control him. This exacerbates his skepticism. Roberto collapses abruptly due to an infection in his wound, prompting Octavio, Sebastian, and Claire to look about the structure for some medication. Sebastian encounters Anna once again in a room with an open window and requests Octavio to come over, stating the window is closed. When Octavio arrives while shielding his eyes, he swiftly puts a stop to the situation for himself after seeing the creature. Sebastian's misgivings have caused him to be unable to notice the light coming from Octavio's body this time. Anna implores Sebastian to remove Claire's blindfold as things start to tremble, but mercifully Claire takes him out of there before things worsen. They return to the couple, where Roberto hears Claire's discovery from the toilet, and Sebastian mulls over whether to listen to Sophia or Anna. Later, the sparsely populated group makes its way through the city toward Montjuic. Sebastian finds bodies with Esteban's mark all over the area. Suddenly, a seer on a bike blocks their path. The seer strikes Roberto and Isabel, causing them to collapse as the party tries to flee. The pair takes off their blindfolds to die together before the seer can take them, since they realize there is no way out. Sebastian takes Claire and Sophia inside a secure structure after spotting the thing approaching. Sebastian's goggles aren't genuinely dark, which Claire ultimately realizes means he's a seer too and murdered the others. Sebastian hunts them when they flee because Anna keeps pressuring her to murder them. She snatches Sophia right afterwards. Sophia and Claire climb the stairs and make it to the roof, when Sebastian stops them, pushes Claire, and then grabs Sophia's blindfold. But before he can remove it, he recognizes Anna again and realizes that she is bleeding. As a result, Sebastian finds up cuddling Sophia instead as another flashback takes place as he feels bad about what he did. Years ago, someone stormed into the apartment where Sebastian and Anna were celebrating Anna's birthday and knocked Sebastian out. The thing compelled Anna to open her eyes and die, and when he awoke, he was on the roof with Anna, Esteban, and his troops. Sebastian glanced at the thing after seeing his daughter die, and then suddenly Anna's ghost appeared next to him, pleading with him to let more people free. Seers are apparently still alive since the monster employs them to lure in additional victims. Sebastian returns to the present and saves Claire. In order to win back her confidence, he then informs her about Anna and explains that he has since come to his senses. Sebastian then pledges to protect them. The three attempts to flee through the roof as the seers burst into the structure at that precise moment. A lady pursues them and fights with Sebastian in an effort to damage his eyes. She is pushed away by Sebastian, who is stronger, and she falls and dies as a result. After that, the group manages to reach the streets and borrows a vehicle to flee just in time for the seers to smash the windows. However, Esteban and his followers start pursuing them across the city in their own automobiles. When they arrive at the cable car tower, Sebastian causes the car to explode to kill a few seers who have caught up to them while driving as quickly as he can while disregarding Anna's ghost. Sebastian then instructs Claire to grab Sophia and continue while he stalls Esteban. Sophia nearly falls through a broken step as Claire guides her up the ancient stairs as the men dispute over philosophy, but Claire rescues her just in time. There is no way to accomplish this while wearing a blindfold, so Claire chooses to take a chance and remove hers. Claire learns that the cable cars are not running when they finally reach the top. She acts fast, ringing a huge bell to produce vibrations that draw the thing to them. The area starts to vibrate as the thing approaches, including the cable cars. Before the thing continues to attempt to seduce them by imitating the sounds of their loved ones, Claire once more covers her eyes. However, just before Sophia is ready to collapse, Claire intervenes to save her. In the meantime, Sebastian is on the ground and sees Anna go through the burning car. He tackles her to get rid of the agonizing vision, but when he realizes it's Esteban, he stabs him with an iron rod. Sebastian is instantly stabbed back by Esteban, and both men continue to thrust their weapons forward so as not to lose each other. Claire concentrates while holding Sophia in the tower and leaps into a cable car, landing safely and completing her escape. Both Esteban and Sebastian pass away from their stab wounds, but Sebastian passes away in peace since he saw the cable cars start to move before his pals did. The troops welcome Claire and Sophia when they arrive at the castle a little while later. They learn that a large community resides here, and Sophia is able to reconnect with her mother at last. In the meanwhile, Claire is brought to a lab where she has some blood tests done. The other scientists respond to Claire's inquiry regarding the experiment's objectives by explaining that they were looking for a chemical marker of trauma and pinpointing the emotions the creature specifically targets. The objective is to create an antibody that would offer protection from the monster. Later, the rats are given the antibody by researchers, and their cages are set up inside a containment space. A seer who looks to be one of the test participants is laying in bed as this is going on. The confinement chamber suddenly emits a terrible growling sound, and the seer cries out to see it.